Festival Braids. I'm here at it again. We are going to do some amazing deluxe festival braids today. I'm very excited to meet a beautiful little girl. Her name's Megan. She's gorgeous and I can't wait to do her braids. We're going to choose from 4 different colours. I'm going to show you and get you to have a look at them, and we can have a chat about them, and then we're going to get straight into these braids, okay? So, this is gorgeous, gorgeous Megan. We're going to do her hair today. She's got beautiful, beautiful long hair, and I'm so excited. As you know, I dream about braids, and I can't wait to do her hair. We're going to leave that match out for the top. So, you guys can see, not that much. We're going to add that to the top of the hair, all right? So we're just going to put that aside for later. Give that a second. Now we're just going to divide these up into chunks, all right? You're looking at probably about 5 chunks, maybe 6, okay? Whatever you've got left. Again, braiding especially is not meant to be stressful. We don't want to make it stressful. We want to make it fun. If it was stressful, no one would do it. Unless you're weird like me and just does it all the time. Okay? Alright. So you can see I'm dividing them all up into around about the same sizes. So I'm going to have 6 piles, I think. And I know it sounds really weird at the moment, but you will understand after I get started. Now, this other pile we put aside from before. Okay? Remember that one that we're going to start with? Now we're going to divide these up into tiny little bits. So you'll see like that, little tiny bits. And that's because we're going to put them up right up the top here. Can you see up here how they're really, really fine? That's where we add them little bits, okay? And this just allows us not to have that big chunk at the top. And look, I love them big and bulky at the top because you know me, I like to make a statement. But it is also nice to have these. Okay, have them nice and tight. They look gorgeous. I'm just breaking that up. So deluxe takes a little bit longer because it takes a little bit to prepare. But overall, it's amazing, amazing look. Okay. Now don't forget you can book all these services on our website too. So you can come and get your braids done with me anytime. All right. And I would love that because I love to braid. All right, let's get started, huh? Let's get this hair prepared. Oh, Megan, your hair is so soft and beautiful.
I washed it so that
you got dream hair.
Then I won't have to wash it for a while.
Yeah.
I need to.
Oh, you got dream hair. It's so beautiful and long. See, I live vicariously through anyone that's got long hair. It's not fair. I put braids in just so I can pretend I've got long hair, see? Mine never matter.
Yeah, I like having long hair.
Oh, it's so pretty. So how long do you want to grow your hair? When you were saying you wanted to grow it like before.
As long as I can.
Wow. Oh, your hair would look amazing all long. So today, would you like extra long braids? Yeah? That would be fantastic. I would love to do that. Alright, my gorgeous, I'm going to put in a little bit of water, and this just allows me to get your part straight, okay? So, I cover up her face, just so I'm not giving her a nice shower, because I don't think she comes here for a shower. We're just going to get her hair done, alright? Okay, now my gorgeous, I'm going to get you to put your head back for just a little bit. This is because I'm going to try to get the part directly over your nose, okay?
My part's funny sometimes.
That's what gel and water can fix, don't worry. Yeah? So, don't rush this part, everyone, okay? Don't rush the part. Because it's really important that you get the part straight. Isn't it, Michael? Really important. Because you will hate it if you're a perfectionist like me. That when you get halfway down your part, halfway down your braid and your part's crooked, because that's like super duper annoying. And by then your hands are full of the braids and you cannot fix it. Okay? So don't rush this part. Take your time. That seriously makes me laugh. Don't rush the part. Ha! See, I crack myself up. That's so fun. I can see Michael laughing in the background too. I'm sure he agrees I'm funny.
That's why I married you.
For my funniness
Yeah, I was just thinking.
or my weirdness. I keep him entertained. Alright, so I do a general go down, alright, down the hair. But now that I've got it, what I'll do is I'll separate it to both sides. I'll put a little bit more water. And we'll just get this part perfect, okay? Beautiful. Oh. So Megan, you got your cornrows done. Where did you get them done?
In Thailand.
Thailand. I'd love to go to Thailand. How amazing.
Awesome.
Oh, how long ago was that?
My hair does not do well in humidity.
No? Did it go really
Yes.
curly?
And yeah, they were someone, I can't remember, that someone was talking about you can get these cool braids done. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go check this out. I love
Yeah.
plaits and braids and yeah. get them
Oh,
done.
that sounds amazing.
And got as many as I could done too.
Yeah.
I think
Did it take long?
I can't remember.
Wow. I literally want to go to Bali just so I can get my braids done because I do everyone else's braids and I'd love to be able to go there and get my own braids done. Okay, all right, we are clipping back half the hair, okay? All right, beautiful. Now, I'm going to put gel all the way along the edges, all right? So think of it as along a line. We're colouring inside the line, all right? Because we want the edges to look as nice and crisp as we can. And don't worry if you see super shiny there, because we're going to comb that through, okay? This is just the beginning. It's a process. All right. All the way along the edges. Keep all them beautiful baby hairs in check. All right. Now, especially with the Deluxe, make sure you're combing through really nice and smooth. Make sure we've got all knots out of the hair. But because the Deluxe starts so small at the top, you really want to make sure it's nice and neat, okay? All right. Let's get started. Now, beautiful. Oops, sorry, Michael. It's going to be a nice and tight, okay? If it gets too tight, you just give me a yell though, all right? Okay. So I still start with that tiny little triangle again, like I always do. Beautiful. All right. We're going to divide it up into the 3 sections still. So you're going to start your braid like you're doing a natural braid, all right? Because we're going to lock it in place.
No hair tie this time.
No hair tie, yep. So we go underneath. We grab the middle one, underneath. All right, so we've locked it in place now. So I'm going to add the first tiny bit here. And we want to have it as close to your fingers as we can. All right? And then we're going to go underneath. Now I only add the little sections when you go to the same side each time. And this is just so it's even, okay? So, close to your fingers, and you want your fingers to be touching her head, all right? Because you want it to be nice and close. If you have your fingers out from her head, you're going to find that it's loose. It's a loose braid, and we don't want that. You're grabbing tiny bits of hair at a time, like that, all right? Don't forget, neaten up with your fingers at all times, okay? Because you will see it. Fingers close to her head, all right? Hair in, under the middle bit, grab the outside. And see how I just let that go? Because now you don't have to control it, all right? We're gonna grab a tiny bit more of hair. Now you can start grabbing bigger bits, but not yet, okay? Because we're still very much close to the top, all right? Beautiful. How you doing there, gorgeous? You okay?
I can hear your dog at the door.
Oh, yeah, my dog is sniffing,
Yeah,
going,
my dog does that too.
I
right up
smell
the door.
someone in there. I want to play.
There's no locked doors in this.
Yeah. Okay, tiny bit. It's like, I know there's someone in there. I can sniff them. And she is like a big cuddly bear, so she'd sit in here and probably want to sit on your lap, even though she's a Labrador.
Yeah, mine's the same. She's little, so.
Yeah. Like, much more human than dog, my dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys see how it's starting to take effect there? Nice and tight. Okay. Now, I'm going to start grabbing little bits at a time. We're going to work our way through all these little ones, and then we want to start adding the bigger ones, okay? All right. Now, especially with the little ones, I only add them when I get to one side. So you can add them from that side or that side, but only one side. And this just makes them more uniformed, okay? All right. Beautiful. You're doing amazing there, my gorgeous. Little tiny section, and you will see how I neaten up. I put it in my fingers first, and then I always neaten up a little bit just to make it nice. And I mean, you can fix up any little bubbles later on with gel and with combs and stuff like that, but if you can get most of them out now, it makes it a lot easier.
Okay, Alison Whittle has a question. Does it work better with clean hair or day after a wash?
Ooh, no, you don't. Look, you can work with both, but if you had a choice, never on super clean. Because it actually makes it harder. And I'll tell you why, because your hair's so clean that it's so slippery. So I find if someone comes to me with super clean hair, I then have to put in dry shampoo and lots of gel, and it defeats the purpose of clean hair, really, doesn't it? It's a shame because you keep it your braid in for at least a week, or well, I do, at least a week. Yeah. So if it's super dirty,
Yeah.
that
I want
probably
to
isn't
just
great
try and
either.
keep the braids in the pocket, so I thought
Absolutely.
I won't have to wash it if it's.
Yeah, absolutely. So you will see that I'm now out of all the little ones. All right, so now we're going to start grabbing bigger hair, all right? So neatening up. All right. Now, when I grab the bigger hair, I'm going to put in this hair first, actually, because I'm trying to read the hair. Can you see where my fingers are? I'm only adding it from there, but it was still back here. So you've got to try to stay even with the hairline, okay? All right, let's grab our first big one, all right? So we're going to add that into my fingers. Still my fingers are touching her head because I want it to be nice and tight. Okay, underneath, grab the outside one. Okay, now because we're getting bigger ones, it's a lot easier to tuck your natural hair under the colours, okay? A little bit harder when you only have the little hair up here, but a lot easier when we start adding. Does anyone have any questions at all about your finger placement or anything like that? Perfect. All right. Now, can you see how here I've got so much natural hair? Well, that's because I haven't added any of the larger bulk hair yet. So I'm going to do that, and then we can start hiding some of the natural hair. Okay. Sometimes if you're working with someone with lots of thick hair, it's a little bit hard to hide the hair, the natural hair.
Okay, another question. Does it work with curly hair? FYI, I am no hair whiz.
Yes! I actually love doing braids on super curly hair. And I'll tell you, everyone always says, oh, you know, it's curly hair, it's going to be so hard to braid. It actually holds the braid in so well. I find that the braids will last longer with curly hair. It is harder to get the knots out, I think, with curly. So a little bit more preparation sometimes is needed. But doing braids on the curly hair is so, so good. All right. So now you'll see that I'm slowly starting to manipulate the natural hair underneath. Obviously, I don't want to cause her any discomfort or pain, but I'm slowly starting to you'll notice that each time I put it in, I'm slowly starting to bring this colour to the top, okay? It allows me to sort of manipulate it in the right place. Beautiful. Now don't forget to pull your hands all the way through. And I'll tell you, if you forget, because sometimes I get on a bit of a tangent. It's not like me at all, is it? I get onto a bit of a tangent and I just braid, because I'm dreaming of braids all day, every day. And you'll just start braiding and you won't realise that you won't be pulling your hands all the way through. And then you'll notice that it gets a bit knotted and then it makes it very hard. So you'll see I'm constantly pulling my hands all the way through.
Yeah, that's what happens when I braid.
Yeah, you forget.
Zubia has arrived and his apologies for being late.
No, Zubia, what are you doing? No, we are doing Deluxe Festival Braids today, my lovely peoples. So now you'll be able to see the difference from last week to this week. There are so many different types of great braids that you can do though. So we do loads of different braids. So we do the Deluxe Festival, we do the Standard Festival, we do the French braids and the Dutch braids, and then we do the naturals also. So we do the natural braids and what else? Cornrows and box braids, and we do a bit of everything. I love it. Any braid you dream of, we can do. Yeah. So you'll see I had a little bubble there. So I'm just going to comb it down, but later on we are going to fix that. So you can see it's only a tiny bit there, but the great thing about the Dutch braids is that, see how you can go underneath? So when I put the gel, I'm going to be able to get all that just underneath there. That's going to be perfect. All right, so you'll see I'm grabbing little sections at a time now. Still neatening it up with my hands. Still having my hands as close to her head as possible, okay?
So the question has just come in, what's the difference between the festival braids and the Deluxe Festival braids?
Yeah.
And I can answer that.
Yeah,
And that
excellent.
is the look that you see here. It's much thinner at the front, and then it slowly comes out. So if you take a look at Michelle's hair, much thinner at the front, and then it comes out to that normal Dutch style braid.
Where the standard only gets put in your hair in 2 parts. So it's generally quite big and bulky at the top, which is pretty awesome too. And I've got lots of photos around here with the standards, okay? And then goes into the normal at the bottom. So you still make it nice extra long, but you'll see it's quite thicker at the top, which is great if you're trying to make a bit of a statement with colour. But I must say, sometimes it's nice just to have the beautiful, elegant deluxe. Are you doing okay there, gorgeous? Okay.
I like getting my hair done.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
My sister used to do it all the time, not like that.
Like, I used to say that to my kid all the time, saying, let's watch a movie just so you can play with my hair. Is that bribery? That could be bribery.
Yeah, she used to wipe me up.
So you will see that I've only got 1 pack left over here. So I've planned that deliberately. The 1 pack I'm going to add is right at the back of the nape of her neck, okay? Because I'm going to do that at the end. This makes it a little bit longer. So, but at the moment, you've got lots of hair here to play with and manipulate, all right? So we don't need to keep adding until we get to the bottom. Because see, then we want it extra long. So you will see that I'm constantly turning her natural hair.
And it thins it out at the end as well.
Yeah, it does, yep. So the other thing I will do is, I'll turn my hands around so you can see it. So I'm not all the way at the bottom yet, but it does actually help me if I can prepare it now. So see how I've got all that natural hair here? I'm going to put a bit of gel in, okay? in her ends, because then it's in one clump and it's a lot easier to hide behind instead of when it's all fluffy like this. So it allows it to be in one clump, a lot easier to hide. All right. Can't say it's super fun when you have to take it out because you get super duper curly hair. All right. So I'll put my thumb there so I can manipulate around and try to hide all natural hair. Okay. Now, it's not all the same. Everyone's very different hair. So if you've got super thick hair, it's a little bit harder to hide, all right? We just work with it. But braids aren't stressful, remember? We're having fun with this. If I could sit here and braid and have wine at the same time, I'd be doing that too. All right. My hands are still nice and close to her head, and I'm still pulling it tight. But that's also why I'm constantly saying, you know, how you doing? Are you okay? It's not too tight. Because I always check to make sure that I'm not pulling too tight, okay? All right, grabbing, we're almost at the bottom. All right, and then I turn the natural hair around. Perfect. Got last one to add. Okay. So now I'm at the nape of the neck, all right? So this is where I'll always pull this last part out, and you want to make sure your hands are as close to her head as possible. This stops any lag, okay? One random hair that's doing whatever it wants. Yeah.
You just need a super long straw and you can braid and have wine.
Oh, see, I like your thinking. I like your thinking. Huh? I'm on it. Let's try that on one of our live videos.
One of those drinking hats.
Yeah! I've been at festivals before and I've thought, oh, I just need one of them backpacks, you know, and I could just have with the straws in it. You never know what's in it. All right, so I'm still turning the hair around as much as we can. We're going to add the last one in just a sec because I know Megan wanted super long hair, okay? So normally I would add it right at the back here when you add your last one. But I know that Megan wanted long hair, so let's make it long. We like to make dreams come true here at Mermaidia Braids. So, last one. All right. Oh, my fingers are all caught in the hair. All right. So I'm adding that into my fingers, all right? So see the difference between last week to this week? We added it into the handbag feel, where now we're not. We're just adding it little bits at a time. And you'll see I'm still holding it really tight, okay? So, and the tightness allows me to keep control. All right, see how I've got the natural hair there? I'm gonna turn it around. Beautiful. Now don't forget, our hair is all reusable. So when you take it out, you make sure you give it a nice brush. If it's going to be a while before you use it again, I would put it on a coat hanger, and in your wardrobe, I generally put it in a plait or something just so it doesn't get all knotted up. But you can reuse this hair as much as you want, okay? How great is this color? I love the contrast of all the colors. I love it. All right, the other thing about the Deluxe is that it's a lot easier to control your ends. So I'm gonna turn it this way. All right, so if you can see, I've got one super long bit here. So we're gonna start adding it into the other piles, okay? We're gonna even Steven it. So now I've got another pile here that's a bit short. So we're gonna make that longer, okay? By grabbing a little bit from this pile. And just make sure you hold your hands tight, keeping your piles still in your 3. See? But if you do it before you get all the way to the end, it's a lot easier to control. I'm gonna grab a tiny bit more to make sure it's evened out. Beautiful. Because see how you can see this is going to go nice and long and tight. but the Deluxe goes into a tighter bottom of the braid. Just push that back for a second. All right. Now we are on Easy Street, peoples. I love Easy Street. Easy Street means that we're just plaiting along, okay? Now again, watch your fingers. You're grabbing underneath the middle one and grabbing the out one. Grabbing the underneath, grabbing the out one, okay? When you get the technique down pat, you can do anything. We can rock the world, okay? All right. How you doing there, my gorgeous? You all okay? All right. I'm going to step back a little bit further because her hair is so long. She hasn't even seen it yet. Just wait till you get to see it.
Just keep relaxing, getting it done.
Yeah? Oh, that's really good. I'm so glad. See, I love the color contrast, like how you've got the beautiful pinks and purples at the bottom, and it's going nice. And I'm going to take this back just a little bit because it would be annoying. See, I had a little bit of a bubble there and it was going to annoy me. So let's do that again. Again, I take things back, and you don't have to, but I take things back because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and it would annoy me. Okay? And it's all about being nice and relaxed, and I want to enjoy it. See, you think I'm joking when I say it during the braids, but it's like 4 a.m. in the morning and I wake up and Michael will go, what's going on? I'm going, oh my God, I've got to try this braid out. And at 4 a.m. I'm up, I'm ready to go. A teenager doesn't really appreciate being woken up at 4 a.m. so I can practice braids on her hair, I can tell you. But that's what happens when you live with someone that runs a braiding company.
Your husband doesn't have long hair.
He doesn't have long hair, exactly. And he has a little beard, but only like tiny. It's not enough to braid. It's a bit quite annoying.
I keep it well trimmed.
Yeah, deliberately.
Did you know what?
Yeah, exactly. All right.
You'll wake up one night and
Yeah, literally, I'll be braiding his beard during sleep. What are you doing? I'm just braiding your beard. Sorry. Yeah, that might be taking my braiding to the extreme. All right. So I like to leave a longer tail. Okay, not that long, but longer. So I'll trim. Probably do about there. But again, each person's preference. So you'll see I'm holding it nice and tight there. Okay. I use clear lacquer bands, and this is because I like that it doesn't show up. It's not super obvious that it's there. Yeah, it's a bit more hidden. All right. So the other thing that you'll see on these braids is just a few little random little hairs that will stick out, but I'll show you about that. All right. So, do you see this? This is like the little ends of the hair. It's not a big deal, but what I will do is I'll trim the little ends just to make sure it's nice and neat and tidy. Again, not a big deal. We like to look beautiful and gorgeous, the way we all should feel all the time, which we don't, but we try. But that's why we have a braid. That's why we have braids, so we can feel gorgeous, yeah? Is it nice and long?
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, we're on the other side. All right, same thing again. We are going to go down the line, colouring in between the lines, remember? All the way down. And I love that the Deluxe starts nice and tight. And I've got to tell you a little bit of a secret. Because I keep my braids in probably about 7 days. Sometimes I've kept them in longer, but usually about 7 days. I must say the Deluxe is easier to sleep with because it's not as big and bulky at the top, all right? But that is personal preference. And it's not a done deal. I can't say that's a done deal. I have to get Deluxe because it's easier to sleep. It's not. It's just another thing I think about. Yep, I'm going to get there. All right. See how I'm combing this through? And again, it just brings the gel all the way through. We double check that we haven't got knots. We're good. We're making it beautiful and soft. All right. Let me get the second pile here. This is such a pretty colour. All right.
Yeah, just explain what you're doing with this again.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep one pile out from the top. All right. And this pile is just sort of this half, this part of here. See? Where it's just nice and tight. So we want to keep one pile aside. All right. So let's keep, I'm going to put that there. Okay. And we're going to come back to that later. So this part, we're just going to divide up into 5 or 6 parts. All right. So usually about that. Okay. Doesn't really matter as long as we're using a math. No, it doesn't really matter as long as we're adding them generally in the same part. Okay. So the last pile especially, make sure you add at the back of the hair. So in the same general area. Okay. So same sizes all the way along. You'll see they're a bit more uniform. So last time I had 6 piles. I think this time I'll probably have 7. Beautiful. Okay. So that's our larger piles. Now we're going to work on the little ones. Now I've got this much left. I'm going to grab tiny bits like that. Okay? We want tiny. All right, and this just makes it finer and tighter at the top. Now, I try to have at least 5 of these. You could do it with 3 and then start adding the bigger ones, but I try to have about 5. Okay. All right, that's good. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I started with a triangle over here. So I'm going to start with the triangle again. So you'll see that first pile started about there. You can see it, all right? So I'm going to start in about the same spot. You don't want to make these triangles too big, okay? Because it's all about being nice and tight at the top, okay? Beautiful. All right, my gorgeous, you ready? Beautiful. You yell at me again if it gets too tight, okay? All right. Now, don't forget we're not adding the hair until we've locked it in place, all right? So, dividing it into the 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go underneath and grab the outside one. And then the middle one becomes the outside here, right? So I'm going to go underneath the middle one, grab the outside one. Underneath, grab the outside one, okay? Underneath, grab the outside one. All right, so we're locked in place now, see? There? It's very tiny. But what we're going to do is I'm going to move my hands a little bit closer to her head. We're going to grab a little bit more hair. So now that we've locked in place, we're going to start adding some hair. But we're only going to add tiny bits at a time. Okay? So see, I've let that one go. That's okay. That's what we want. You don't need to control too much in your fingers. This is half the battle people find, is that they can't control their fingers, all right? And when I started, I was the same. I'm like, how do people do these braids? I don't have enough fingers to hold it all. So I'm grabbing tiny bits of hair. So I added a tiny bit again. And when I'm adding, I only add to one side. Okay? I just find it makes it a little bit more uniformed. All right? I mean, adding the coloured hair from one side. It just makes each pile even. My fingers nice and close to the head, still grabbing underneath the middle pile, grabbing the outside pile. Now, if you guys ever wanted some classes or anything like that, you just give me a yell, yeah? Because that's something that we can look at. Doing some classes with anyone, we can absolutely look at that in your town, wherever you are. All right, grabbing a tiny bit more. All right. The biggest thing about doing these live streams is that I wanted to take the stress out, okay? Because we've all got enough stress, honestly, in our lives. We don't need to be adding stress about braids. Beautiful. I had so many parents ring me this week because there was crazy hair day at one of the schools, and they're all ringing me in a panic, and they're going, oh my God, it's crazy hair day. What can we do? What can we do? So we thought of doing like snakes in their hair and braids with pipe cleaners, and we were looking at what else did we look at? Oh, doing the bun with the braids coming down so it looked like tentacles, and yeah, we came up with heaps of ideas. It was awesome. Oh, beautiful. Love it. So can you see how it's starting to take effect here? And I have now finished all the little ones. So we're going to start adding the bigger piles, okay? You will see my hands are still very close to her head, all right? And this allows me to have a bit more control. All right, so first, before I add the hair, I'm going to add the coloured hair. I'm going to add a little bit of hair here, all right? And I do this personally because I think it allows me to have a bit more control. All right, first pile. All right, you'll see I hold at the top, and I want to pinch it in my hands as close to her head as I can. All right, beautiful. Make sure it's nice and neat in my fingers. Still doing good? Beautiful. Yeah, that's all right. Beautiful. All right, now I'm going to start manipulating now. So this is where you're going to start looking, okay? This is where you're really going to look the other side. Because we don't want it to get too thick too fast. And you'll see here that it starts to get thicker around about here, all right? So I'm wanting it to be about the same. So we want probably 1 or 2 more before I add another one, okay? You really have to be a bit more in tune with your hair, all right? We want to make sure it looks really neat, beautiful and uniformed. All right, so we're going to add that in. Now, there's lots of things you can do. If you get a bit worried about a little hair sticking out here or something sticking out there, there is, I have, I think, every accessory known for my hair, any accessory known to man. You ask about hair accessories, I've got it. I love a bit of hair accessories, okay? So we do butterflies, and did you guys ever do butterflies when you were a kid? Because I did. I talk about this at festivals all the time, you know, about how I grew up with butterflies in my butterfly clips in my hair,
I had those little tiny.
Yeah. We did that all the time. I used to have it like a little halo.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. That's the other thing. If you've seen any of my other videos, you will see that I braid to the side. Okay. Not everyone does it, but I do. So because I braid to the side, I am constantly, I'll come back, all right, and I'll make sure that they're even, all right? Because if I'm looking at it from the side, it looks great from this side, I must say. But then I'll come in and go, hey, what's going on here? So yes, I will be constantly checking. But I have staff that work for me that braid from the back. So whatever works for you, okay? Everyone's different, and I like that. All right? Let's stick with us being unique. Or me, if you want to think about me being a bit quirky. Beautiful. Now, Megan, it's completely up to you, but would you like sparkles?
Yes.
That is absolutely the right answer. You should see my face if I say, do you want sparkles? And they say no. I'm going,
Can't not have sparkles.
okay. Anyone on this call hate sparkles? Please say no, please say no, please say no. because sparkles are life.
I wouldn't tell you if they said yes.
No, you value your life. All right, now here you see that Megan has some little baby hairs, and we did put gel on it before, but while I'm starting to manipulate the hair underneath, you'll see that I just used a little bit of gel and I'm pushing it up too. All right, now I can fix it again later when I comb it, but it's just one less thing I have to worry about then. Okay, so you're just fixing it up, and you'll notice that every time I'm adding hair in, I'm also manipulating it to the back of the pile, because I really wanted the colour to stand out as much as we can. All right, so you'll see here, the natural hair is up top. So I'm going to try to manipulate it underneath. Obviously, I don't want to cause Megan any pain, all right? So we've got to be really careful like that. Yeah, perfect. So, but we want to make sure the colour really pops, all right? Now I'm going to add another vial. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So, how is it feeling? Yeah? Doesn't feel too tight on you? Good. That's really good. Do you know I've braided, what did we say the other day, Michael? 2,000 people's hair?
2,300.
That's a lot of people.
Plus.
Braided. Yeah. And I love it. But I'll tell you a joke. My kid, I shouldn't say kid because she'd tell me off actually. She's 16, right?
Yeah, that's not kid.
Yeah, that's not kid. Okay, she's a teenager. She really is an adult. She's 16, and when I'm brushing her hair, she'll tell me off. She'll say, "Oh, that hurts. It hurts." But you know what? I say to her, I braid thousands of people's hair, and no one ever says I hurt. But no, maybe it's a mum thing. I'm thinking it's a mum thing. That mums are just rushed.
She's trying to tell you not to.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. So we're nearly at the back. We've got 2 more sections to add. So, beautiful. So you'll see I'm still cutting my hair nice and tight to her head. And I'm putting my other thumb on top. It just allows me to control it better. All right. Adding another pile here. Still add it to the middle one. And hold it nice and tight. All right. Back pile. Your back pile is one of the most important, okay? Because it means that you've got to really hold it as close to the nape of the neck as possible. This allows us to not get any lag there. Now, if you get lag, it's really common, okay? When I first started, I had lag, and I used to hate it. So, if you get lag there, you can fix it, all right? So don't stress about that. Don't let that be the reason you're not braiding. Okay. All right, so I'll do it as I did before. Natural hair, I'm just going to put a little bit of gel in here. All right, it just allows me to manipulate the hair a little bit more and hide it under all the colors. Okay, beautiful. Now, if you don't have gel, you can use mousse. So whatever you have, it's no big deal. So I have a little bit of a lag there, all right? But we're going to fix that. And it's actually probably a good thing because I'll show you exactly what's what. All right. Now, beautiful Meg, I'm going to turn your hair to the back because I really just want to make sure I'm adding it at the right stage, okay? So this is where we're going to look at the hair. And we're going to really watch that we're adding the last one where it gets a little bit thinner. So as you can see, I'm still pulling my hands all the way through. This allows me to have no knots, okay? Alright. I'm going to add the last set there. Alright. Now remember before how I had to change them over into different piles? But that's because we've only got 2 piles now. We don't have the handbag thing like we do in the standard. So here, you'll see I've got 1 long pile in this pile, 1 long pile in that pile. So when we get a little bit further down, we'll have to change them around, yeah? So we've got a bit in every pile. Because this pile's looking a little bit lonely, don't you think? All right. So I'm going to start changing that around. I'm going to start putting a little bit in here at a time. Because if we do it before it's too late, it's a lot easier to muck around with, okay? Than when you do it right at the end. Then it's a lot harder, I find, to sort of change things around. Well, it's a lot more noticeable, and you don't want to be noticeable. Beautiful. I love the idea of the deluxe also that it finishes so fine too. I love it. I love it. So if you had to choose, everyone, between a standard and a deluxe, what do you think your views would be? Ooh. I wonder. You think the deluxe?
I like how it's smaller.
Yeah, it is. It's finer, which is really, really pretty.
And lasts longer.
Yes, exactly. So I'm constantly feeling the hair here too. So one pile feels a
Definite
little bit
vote for the deluxe.
Definitely for the deluxe. Yeah, exactly. Now, if you're braiding lots of kids like I am, the standard's really, really good, okay? Because kids are like this, and you're going to braid like this. And it's really, really fun. Did I say that with a lot of courage? It's really fun. Kids make it challenging to braid, especially if they have a small attention span. But I actually love it. I love the challenge. Because we always say that they're dancers, but that's not because they're dancing, it's because I have to dance to get around them. So, yeah, you'll hear Michael at festivals sometimes going, "We got a dancer!" And that's because kids are wanting to go, "What's over there? Oh, what's over here?" And you're braiding the whole time. And I try to work with them. I think if I'm constantly trying to get them to stay still and not move, and then they get grumpy at me, then I don't handle grumpy people at all. I like people happy and cheerful all the time. So if I work with kids and I braid really fast, half the time it's over before they even know what's going on. All right, so you'll see we're getting quite small now. So I want to make sure they're even with the other one. All right, before I cut anything off. So I'll hold her nice and tight and I'll stand right at the back of her, and you'll see my hairband's there. So I'm going to match it, hairband there. All right, and I'm going to loosen them and I'm going to cut it the same. And then we can put the hairband on. All right, beautiful. All right. Now I'm going to trim a little bit of them little edges at the bottom, and then I'll show you how to fix that little lag that I've got there, which is super duper annoying. Now, when you're doing this, be super careful that you're not cutting anyone's natural hair, especially if they've got long, long hair. It's never happened to me yet, but I definitely pay attention. You will always see it if they're doing the festival braids, because it's the bright colours, and usually people's hair is not super bright coloured. But if they're doing like the natural colour on natural hair, then just be extra careful. Okay, you can feel the difference between natural hair and not. So then you're just making sure you're super careful by feeling the differences. Okay. All right. So this is how I'm going to fix any lag. All right. See, it hides everything. See how I've got a little bit of a lag there? I don't like that. All right. So I'm going to get a bobby pin here. Now I had put gel on that, so that's good. I'm gonna hold that nice and tight. All right. And I'm gonna put a bobby pin there, and we're gonna tuck it underneath the braid there. Is it okay, honey? Yep. So you don't even see it, but it's all fixed. Yeah? Now I don't really have too much lag on the other side, but I'm just gonna make sure that's uniform, because I can't cope if things aren't the same. All right, now, we are beautiful. I'm going to put a little bit of hairspray in there, which makes the sparkles hold, okay? All right, so again, it's the same as the water. I'm going to put my hand in front of your head to say no hairspray gets in your eyes or anything like that. I usually say it's going to be cold, and I forgot. No, it's going to be cold. All right, so hairspray. I'm a big advocate for hairspray. Hairspray makes everything hold. Okay? Beautiful. Alright, same again. Hand across the front, just so we don't get sparkles in anyone's eyes. And sparkles all the way along. Now, again, I'm a bit biased with sparkles. I like sparkles. But I do think it honestly brings out the colour of the braid too. Okay? Beautiful. Do you want to have a look from behind, everyone? It looks amazing. It's so long. Look at the colors. It's so pretty. I love the deluxe. Do you want to sit up and have a look in the mirror? Yeah? It's nice and long. What do you think? Oh, and you did so well. It's so beautiful. See, you chose really good. And it doesn't feel too tight. No, it's nice, isn't it? So with the standard, we always put a hairband at the top to hide it, and we pull that tight, okay? So I'll show you that again in the coming weeks. But with these ones, we don't use a hairband. So yes, it looks tighter, but it feels less tight. Okay, so it's a beautiful, beautiful look, and I love the deluxe, but I also love the standard. There's a time and place for both. All right, so that's us today in a nutshell. We have done the Deluxe Festival Braid. Don't forget they're all available. You can book the service on our website, so check that out. Check out all the colors that you can do, because there are so many and different braids that you can try too, even the natural braids. All right, I'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. All right, guys. See you later!